Box to box, Francis Maxwell, Kevin Egan. Kevin mentioned in the previous clip, it's our box to box end of year awards. We just discussed team of the year. And Kev, it's time to discuss manager of the year. Well, I just already say Brendan Rodgers and we can both just agree over the wonders he's done at Glasgow Celtic, or is there someone over there that you think beats him to it?
Right, the obvious choice here is Claudio Ranieri, isn't it? With Leicester City.
Yes.
But for me, I'm not going to go with him. An experienced manager who's had a good career. I'm going to go with someone, Francis, who took over in January in his first head coaching position. He was in charge of the Castilla at Real Madrid, which is their reserve side. But this is his first team and first chance at that. And he takes over the most well-known and popular club in world football, Real Madrid. Zidane has lost 2 games in charge. He lost to Atletico Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu and lost. Really, that was his really only loss, because he lost to Wolfsburg in a 2-legged tie that they ended up winning. He's since gone on to not lose in 36 games. He's won a Club World Cup. He has won the Champions League. He's now at the top of the La Liga standings. He has done incredibly well. And what's more impressive for me is the fact that he's kept everybody in really good form, and he's dealt with a bigger injury crisis than any other manager in world football. Ronaldo out for a long spell, Gareth Bale, Luka Modric, Toni Kroos. The list goes on of players that have been dealt huge injuries, and yet he's bringing through younger players from their youth academy as well. I think he's done a marvellous job, and something that we're not really talking about enough. Zizou for me.
Well, I think I agree with the first point as well, Kev. The Tinker Man will have a place in every football fan's heart, I believe, after what he did with Leicester City. But this is why I love doing this clip with you, Kev, because we'll both throw out suggestions that aren't the go-to. There's so many sources have already ran the Leicester Cities and Claudio Ranieri's without giving an honourable mention to some of the coaches out there that worked wonders, such as Fernando Santos. You mentioned it in a previous clip. What a job he did to win that Euro 2016. Some people, after the tournament, I know both of myself and you were on the clip, and we gave credit where credit's due. He took over a team that weren't the best going forward, so he worked well with what he had. He made them a defensive powerhouse. They won 0 games in regular time in the Euro 2016, and they won the tournament. That is down to strategy. That's down to working well with what you have, making the most out of the assets that you have at your arsenal, making them so hard to beat, so frustrating to play against. And regardless of you enjoy watching or not, that is fantastic managerial skills that you can take over a team that literally, let's be honest, yeah, Portugal have always had a good team. They've got one of the world's best players playing up top, but no one really gave them a chance. And they went through it and they beat the hosts, France, in the end up. And I think that's a phenomenal accomplishment for a manager to take over. And he did it all through the group stage, Kev. This wasn't just something that he applied in the Euro 2016 and just suddenly it worked. He won most of his games through the group stage 1-0, tying most of them, and they were so hard to beat. So I think he deserves a mention.
And when you look at this, you say that both Leicester City and, of course, Portugal, like you said, playing to their strengths. Leicester hitting teams in the counter-attack with the pace of Vardy and Mahrez up front. So managers going about their business in the right way. And then I think of Bob Bradley, someone who recently got fired by Swansea, who tried to go all out and attack with a weak team and a terrible defence and conceding goals. Sometimes you're better off not trying to go after what the chairman wants, or the fans for that matter, and just do what makes sense. And credit certainly to Fernando Santos there, and Zinedine Zidane as well, did very well indeed. I think we've pretty much picked the right guys here, Francis.
Yeah, I have to agree. Wise choice from the Irishman out on the East Coast, and I went with Fernando Santos as well, discussing his wonders in Portugal. We want to know what you think. Is there a case out there? Maybe Louis van Gaal gets an honourable mention for being the worst coach of 2016. But who knows? Let us know right here on 120 Sports.